No, well, this is county. I had someone says here at the Target on 124. They say someone just got shot.
She's right behind the Borders bookstore about Burgundy Cadillac Escalade.
Do you know if she did it or somebody else shot her?
No, somebody else, a male shot her.
Heather Strube, born in April 1984, was a young woman who appeared to have a promising future. The daughter of Buddy and Mary Allen, she grew up in a tight-knit family with her two younger brothers, Hunter and Henry. Heather excelled in school and had a wide group of friends embodying the typical girl-next-door image. At a youth group event, Heather first met Stephen Strube, who would later become her husband. The couple seemed to have the perfect future ahead of them. They married when Heather was 20 and Stephen was 21, with the full backing of their families, who shared similar values and dreams for the couple's future. Heather's entrepreneurial nature led her to open a flower shop, where she built on the skills she had developed while working at her parents' floral business. To balance work and motherhood, she even set up a small play area in the shop for her baby. Stephen found stable work in construction, and their lives seemed to be settling into a comfortable routine. 3 years into their marriage, they welcomed their son, Carson, who became the focus of their lives. However, like many young couples, their seemingly idyllic life began to show signs of strain. The pressures of parenthood, financial difficulties, and the stress of managing a business began to take their toll. Though the couple sought help in marriage counseling, it was evident that their relationship was deteriorating. To make matters worse, Stephen's mother, Joanna Hayes, became an increasingly intrusive presence in their lives. Joanna was anything but the supportive grandmother. She often criticized Heather's parenting, telling her how to raise her own child. She would even take Carson without informing Heather, leading to increased tension and resentment. Even Stephen's father, who was long divorced from Joanna, expressed his frustration with his ex-wife's behavior. The final blow to the marriage came on Valentine's Day in 2008, when Joanna presented Heather with a receipt for jewelry that Stephen had purchased. The issue, however, was that the jewelry was not intended for Heather. This revelation exposed Stephen's infidelity, and the marriage unraveled soon after. On April 26, 2009, at approximately 6 p.m., Heather arrived at a Target parking lot on Highway 124 in Snellville for what was supposed to be a routine child custody handover. She was there to pick up her 18-month-old son, Carson, from her estranged husband, Stephen. With the couple amid divorce proceedings, the public parking lot had become their regular meeting spot for these exchanges. The custody arrangement allowed Stephen to spend weekends with Carson, while Heather retained primary custody. Their exchanges were in public and often involved minimal conversation between them. Eyewitnesses later described a terrifying scene that unfolded in the bustling parking lot.
Cadillac Escalade, you can't miss it. She's laying at the back of the car most of the time. Look at all this woman lying on the ground.
Where in her body did she get shot?
Ronald Reagan, there's like a wooded area, and you walk back there.
A figure approached her vehicle as Heather was securing her son in the car seat. The individual was described as a white person with dark, poofy hair and a fake mustache, details that would later prove crucial to the investigation. The two exchanged words, appearing to have a heated conversation. A single gunshot echoed through the parking lot, sending nearby shoppers into a frenzy. Heather Strube fell to the ground, fatally shot in the head. Her son remained strapped in the back seat of the car, thankfully too young to understand the horrific events that had just transpired. In an important twist that would later become a critical piece of evidence, witnesses reported that the shooter walked away from the scene at a brisk pace, but did not run. The composure and calculated behavior of the individual hinted at premeditation and a personal connection to the victim. As law enforcement arrived at the scene, they were presented with a puzzling situation. Heather had been deliberately targeted, yet nothing was stolen. The shooter had not made any attempt to harm or take the child. The calm and deliberate actions of the assailant pointed to a well-thought-out plan, suggesting that the murder had been personal. Stephen was quickly ruled out as a direct suspect because he had already left the area by the time of the shooting. However, the possibility that he had hired someone to kill Heather was still considered. Investigators also looked into Heather's new boyfriend, Mike Vickers, but he had an alibi that ruled him out as a suspect. The breakthrough in the case came from an unexpected source. A witness who had been smoking near a motel behind the Target store provided crucial information. The witness had seen a white Ford F-150 truck parked behind the store with its engine running. Inside the vehicle was a person who matched the description of the shooter, complete with the suspicious hair and mustache, watching the parking lot through binoculars. This testimony led the police to take a closer look at Stephen's mother, Joanna Hayes. Joanna was known for her constant interference in Heather and Stephen's relationship, and her frequent criticism of Heather's parenting. Joanna also happened to drive a white Ford F-150 with custom black trim, matching the witness's description. When shown security footage from the parking lot, Stephen made a stunning identification. The person in the footage looked just like his mother. This, combined with Joanna's evasive behavior during questioning, shifted her status from a person of interest to the prime suspect. As the investigation continued, more troubling details surfaced. A co-worker of Joanna's came forward with a chilling account. She recalled a conversation with Joanna a year before the murder, during which Joanna had described in great detail how to commit murder and get away with it. Her plan involved using an illegally acquired firearm, establishing a false alibi, and disposing of evidence in a body of water. Details that were eerily consistent with the circumstances of Heather's murder. One of the most damning pieces of evidence came in the form of a single strand of fiber found in Joanna's truck. Though her truck was meticulously cleaned, lab analysis revealed that the fiber was likely from a blonde wig, corroborating witnesses' descriptions of the shooter's appearance. In 2011, 2 years after Heather Strube's murder, Joanna Hayes faced trial in Gwinnett County. The prosecution built its case on circumstantial evidence, witness testimonies, and the complicated relationships within the Strube family. Although the murder itself wasn't captured on camera, surveillance footage showed a figure walking to and from the scene of the crime. Initially, when police showed this footage to Stephen, he identified the individual as his mother, Joanna. However, Stephen later refused to testify against her, complicating the prosecution's case. Multiple witnesses in the Target parking lot reported seeing a person wearing what appeared to be a wig and a fake mustache approach Heather's vehicle and engage her in an argument before the shooting. Yet, there were some inconsistencies between these descriptions and Joanna's actual physical appearance. The white Ford F-150. Witness testimony from a nearby motel detailed seeing a white Ford F-150 with custom black trim and a disguised person inside, watching the parking lot with binoculars. This matched the vehicle Joanna drove. The defense had an uphill battle but worked to counter the prosecution's narrative by focusing on several points. Lack of physical evidence. The defense stressed the absence of the murder weapon and the lack of DNA evidence directly connecting Joanna to the crime. Eyewitness inconsistencies. Discrepancies in the descriptions of the suspect's height and build, compared to Joanna's actual appearance, were emphasized by the defense to cast doubt on her involvement. They argued that investigators failed to thoroughly examine other potential suspects, including Stephen Strube and Heather's new boyfriend, Mike Vickers. Character witnesses. Family and friends testified about Joanna's good nature and strong love for her grandson, attempting to contradict the image of a cold, calculated killer that the prosecution portrayed. The defense questioned the reliability of the jailhouse informants and cast doubt on the interpretation of the CCTV footage. Despite these efforts, the jury found the prosecution's case compelling. Joanna Hayes was convicted of Heather Strube's murder. During the sentencing, Heather's father, Buddy Allen, addressed the court in a heart-wrenching moment, saying, "There are no winners here today. Everyone lost." He expressed his sorrow for Carson, who would grow up without his mother, while his grandmother remained behind bars. The conviction of Joanna Hayes may have brought a sense of justice to Heather Strube's family, but it also left deep emotional wounds that would not easily heal. Carson Strube, just a toddler when his mother was murdered, would grow up not only without his mother, but with the harsh reality that his grandmother had been convicted of committing the crime. For Stephen Strube, the situation was equally heart-wrenching. He found himself torn between the devastating truth of his mother's actions and his loyalty to his family. Initially cooperating with the police, he had identified his mother in the CCTV footage, but later his refusal to testify against her revealed the internal conflict that divided the family. In interviews from prison, she argued that the police had manipulated her son's testimony and that discrepancies in witness accounts proved she wasn't the killer. She insisted that the physical evidence, such as the fiber found in her truck, was circumstantial and did not prove her guilt. The case left lasting implications not just for the Strube and Allen families, but also for the broader community. The case left lasting implications not just for the Strube and Allen families, but also for the broader community. It prompted many to question the risks associated with custody exchanges, particularly in cases involving high levels of tension between the parents. In response, some communities began re-examining their procedures around supervised visitations and neutral locations for custody handoffs, aiming to prevent similar tragedies in the future. For the residents of Snellville, Heather Strube's murder shattered the quiet sense of security that had defined their town. It was a stark reminder that danger could come from within, not from strangers, but from those we trust the most. The once peaceful suburb would forever be marked by the tragedy, a place where people whispered about the shocking events that unfolded in the spring of 2009. Heather Strube's life may have been cut short, but her story continues to resonate as a tragic tale of love, betrayal, and the dark complexities of family relationships. In the end, the case of Heather Strube stands as a haunting example of how far jealousy and the desire for control can drive someone to commit the unthinkable, and the lasting toll it takes on everyone involved. Hey everyone! Thanks for tuning into World of Crime. We dive deep into the dark and mysterious, bringing you the latest and most gripping true crime stories from around the globe. If you found today's case intriguing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community of crime enthusiasts. Your support helps us continue uncovering the stories that matter. Have thoughts or theories about today's case? Drop a comment below and let's discuss. We'd love to hear your perspectives and keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe. I am Alex, and you've been watching World of Crime. See you in the next episode.